Thus, after the Six-Day War, the Security Council determined in Resolution 242 of 1967 that Israel must withdraw its armed forces from territories occupied in the recent conflict. In Resolution 476 of 1980, the Security Council reaffirmed the overriding necessity for ending the prolonged occupation of Arab territories occupied by Israel since 1967. Israel's occupation is no longer, if it ever was, a military occupation. It is annexation. In East Jerusalem, the annexation is de jure. In the rest of the territory, it is de facto. But the formal characterization matters little. To use the words of the court in the Wall case, the occupation is today, and I quote, notwithstanding the formal characterization, tantamount to de facto annexation, end of quote. This now applies to the entire territory. This may have been the intention all along. Prime Minister Ben-Gurion affirmed in 1950 that, and I quote, the Israeli empire must comprise all the territories between the Nile and the Euphrates, end of quote. And this was to be achieved as much by invasion as by diplomacy. More recently, Prime Minister Netanyahu has declared that his government will be, and I quote, applying Israeli sovereignty over all the communities formed through the transfer of Israeli settlers, and not one resident or community will be uprooted, end of quote. Through its settlement policy, Israel has sought to create irreversible facts on the ground. It has aimed to create physical facts, which in practical terms make it as difficult as possible to bring an end to its prolonged occupation, the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Notwithstanding, the Security Council has reaffirmed that the settlements constitute, and I quote, a flagrant violation under international law, end of quote.